said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Hey, baby, said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove. Child, the way you shake that thing, gonna make you burn, gonna make you scream. Oh, baby. Hey, baby, oh, baby, pretty baby, show me how you do it now. Hey. I gotta roll, I can't stand still, got a flaming heart, I'm gonna get my fill. Now, show me how you do it now.
Welcome to coverage of the NBA playoffs here on ESPN, and we begin the coverage in the great city of Chicago, where all kinds of people have all kinds of memories about 6 championships won in the 1990s. They're hoping maybe today is the first step towards another championship run for their beloved Bulls. The #1 seed in the Eastern Conference, the team with the best record in the NBA during the regular season. The Bulls will begin the playoffs at home here in Game 1 today against the Indiana Pacers. Hi, everybody. Dan Shulman and John Barry. And, of course, they're so excited about this team right now, and they're so excited about the young man, 22 years old, who just might win the MVP this year in Derrick Rose.
I think he will win the MVP, to be the youngest ever to win that award. And I can make an argument that he might be the most improved player as well. It started at the FIBA World Championships in the summer. He knew he had to be more vocal. His game's improved in every area. I've never seen a point guard in the history of the league with the ability to finish like Derrick Rose. He can get to anywhere he wants to on the floor. We talked about the improvement, jump shooting. Nobody finishes better than Derrick Rose. And just a year ago, you talk about great point guards in the league. Was it Nash? Was it Williams? Was it Paul? Well, there's no question now. It's Derrick Rose, the only player in the NBA to rank in the top 10 in both scoring and assists. Derrick Rose, he's been sensational, and he's been the reason why the Chicago Bulls are the #1 seed overall in the NBA.
Pretty good supporting cast as well. Boozer, Noah, Deng, etc. The Indiana Pacers come in 37-45, but a better team after the coaching change. Interim head coach Frank Vogel led them to a plus 500 record. They're young, they're confident. Are they dangerous?
Well, maybe they don't know enough because they've never been here, but they do have an all-star caliber player in Danny Granger. And Danny Granger said, I don't want to play the Boston Celtics. I want the Chicago Bulls. Well, Danny, you've got them. You've got them in their barn where they've lost 5 times. You've got the #1 seed. They play great defense, and they're going to be ready today. There's no overlooking the Indiana Pacers. The Chicago Bulls are ready to make another title run.
The #1 overall seed in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls, led by Derrick Rose, getting set to take on the Indiana Pacers. The tip is next.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by Chrysler, imported from Detroit. And Outback Steakhouse. It's always fresh in the Outback.
This telecast of the NBA is presented in 3D by Sony. Welcome back to the building affectionately known as the Madhouse on Madison, the United Center. Sellout crowd, 22,000 or thereabouts as the Indiana Pacers come to town in Game 1 of this series, in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs here in 2011. A look at the starting lineup for the Pacers. It's a young group, a group that played well down the stretch. Darren Collison, Paul George is a rookie. Danny Granger, Tyler Hansbrough, Roy Hibbert. Only Granger among these 5 has ever played in the playoffs before, and that was 5 years ago. For Chicago, Derrick Rose, Keith Bogans in the backcourt. Luol Deng quietly had another very strong season. Carlos Boozer and Joakim Noah. What a talented team. 62 wins on the season. For more on today's game, let's send you over to Rick Bucher.
Thank you, Dan. Danny Granger said that if you stop Derrick Rose, you essentially stop the Bulls. That was not lost on the Bulls supporting cast. Now, Granger and Rose accidentally bumped into each other outside the locker rooms and had a quick, awkward handshake and kept walking. there will be no handshakes with that supporting cast. Keith Bogan said, we talked about what Danny said, and we're not going to change what we do, but he can expect some guys to step up today. Dan?
All right, Rick, thank you very much. Great stuff. And, John, I mean, you've been around, played in enough playoff series. You just never want to give anybody bulletin board material unless you really have to.
Exactly. And stopping Derrick Rose is easier said than done. No one's been able to find a recipe to do that all season long. So I don't expect the Indiana Pacers to do that today.
And worth noting, in the last game between these two teams in the regular season, they didn't quite stop them unless you call holding them to 42 points, stopping them, although Indiana did win that game in overtime.
They did, but don't discount the Chicago Bulls supporting cast. Will Deng, as you mentioned, a terrific season. Carlos Boozer, when healthy, he's been terrific. Joakim Noah, we know what he can do on the interior. They're the #1 seed for a reason, and we're going to find out here today.
The Pacers get the opening possession of the game. Joey Crawford, Violet Palmer, Bennett Salvatore are officials today here in Chicago. The NBA playoffs are underway. Darren Collison kicks it back to Tyler Hansbrough, who saw his minutes, his role increase after the coaching change. And the follow tip is good for 7-foot 2-inch Roy Hibbert out of Georgetown.
I remember 2 years ago people saying Tyler Hansbrough wouldn't play in the NBA. How about that? I think he's dispelled that quickly. He's had a terrific season since Frank Vogel took over. A lot of minutes for Tyler Hansbrough.
Got his hands full with Carlos Boozer today. They've got their hands full with Derrick Rose. 25 points per game during the regular season in the top 10 of the NBA, as you mentioned, in both scoring and assists. The only player in the league to do that this year.
And that runner right there, that shot, the in-between shot, not the jumper, not all the way to the rim, one of the most difficult in the game, and he is just terrific at making that shot.
Offensive foul.
Well, that's why Keith Bogans is on the floor. He's not a guy that's going to score a lot of points for you. He averages just 4 during the regular season. He has become a decent three-point shooter, 38% on the season, but he is out there to play defense and get in the head of the other team's best player, and that was great D.
Paul George, the rookie out of Fresno State, called for the offensive foul. Bogans is one of these guys who, from the outside, you look at the starting five and you say, boy, if they're going to do something, it would be a two-guard. But ask his teammates about the value that he brings to them, the intangibles, the defense, the toughness.
Exactly. Every team's got to have a guy like Keith Bogans. And they actually have Ronnie Brewer coming off the bench, who's very similar to Bogans.
Neither one needs the ball. Of course, with Chicago, it all starts at the defensive end under head coach Tom Thibodeau. Some of the best defensive stats in the NBA this year. Shot clock at 3, blocked by Noah. Follow again by Hibbert.
Well, great follow. That's 2 in a row for Roy Hibbert at the rim. Help defense. Someone's got to account for Roy Hibbert. Get him off the glass.
Boozer inside, too strong. And a loose ball foul going against the Pacers.
Well, Hibbert's really lost a lot of weight. He's down to 260, a lot more mobile. This guy at Georgetown could barely run up and down the floor. A great kid. He's worked tremendously hard to get himself into great shape. And he's a guy that you could talk about being a most improved player this year. He's had a terrific season.
Frank Vogel called him, the interim head coach of the Pacers, called him the most coachable player, the easiest to work with player that he's got. Vogel was an assistant for a number of years under Jim O'Brien at Jim O'Brien's various stops in the NBA. Way back when, he just wanted to get into basketball so badly, he begged and pleaded for a job and got a job as the video coordinator at the University of Kentucky. Has worked his way up. The youngest head coach in the NBA right now. Who knows if he'll be back next year. Still has that interim label. But there's no question, JB, Indiana played better after the coaching change. He changed the rotation and the entire offensive philosophy.
He did. Very strange that a guy that coached under the head coach would completely scrap what Jim O'Brien did, but Frank Vogel has done that, and this team's been better for it as Hibbert continues to impress on the interior.
Joakim Noah at 6'11", Roy Hibbert a legitimate 7'2", and he's got all 6 of the Pacers' points. Rose off to Boozer. Pass turned over. Back come the Pacers with numbers. Collison, little stutter step, and he lays it in. A good start here on the road for Indiana.
Great with the left hand. They want to get out in transition. take great shots, not good shots. Wide open shots early in the clock. Frank Rowe was okay with that as we get a turnover. Collison going the other way.
Second in a row by the Bulls. George the finish at the rim. Indiana by 6.
Maybe just the wake-up call the Chicago Bulls needed. Tom Thibodeau is going to get a timeout here. And the Bulls need to wake up. It is a noon start here, Central Time, isn't it?
The Pacers are certainly awake. We mentioned young, confident, maybe a dangerous team coming in here playing their best basketball of the season. Darren Collison to the ultra-athletic Paul George, and the Pacers have an early 6-point lead. Rick Bucher, game 1 of the NBA playoffs, and a terrific start for the Indiana Pacers, up 10-4. The Bulls committing a couple of turnovers and really haven't had an answer for Roy Hibbert so far.
All 5 of Indiana's field goals have come in the paint, where the Chicago Bulls, one of the best in the NBA at protecting the paint. So great sign here for Indiana. Not having to settle for jump shots. Get that ball inside.
Two-man game, Rose and Boozer. Tough off-balance shot by Carlos Boozer, who missed a lot of time with injuries during the season, as did Joakim Noah, making that 62-20 record even more impressive.
Well, I love Boozer. Huge rebound games during the season. Good help there, forcing the Hibbert miss.
Hibbert going up with the left hand that time, but you can see the emphasis for the Pacers early, getting the ball inside, and the emphasis for the Bulls is the two-man game between Rose and Boozer.
Well, Boozer has the ability to pick and pop and knock down the face-up jump shot, that time to the rim, able to finish over the Indiana defender.
A little back screen by Rose to try to free up Boozer. And away from the ball, Bennett Salvatore's got a foul call on Paul George. And that's going to be the second on George already. So Frank Vogel is forced to go to his bench early. This is a deep Indiana team. They're going to play a lot of guys as Brandon Rush comes into the game.
Well, you could go to Mike Dunleavy here as well, a guy that plays multiple positions. He's coming off the broken thumb, missed 19 games late in that season. And this is his first playoff as well. No one happier than Mike Dunleavy to be playing here today.
Noah got it back and missed the jam. Deng runs down the offensive rebound and is fouled by Rush.
You got to love Joakim Noah. I mean, the energy of this guy, the way he plays, him being out of this lineup and them to stay afloat was incredible. Because it's not numbers with Joakim Noah. It's about taking charges, about setting screens, about doing all the dirty work. And his attitude is infectious for the rest of this ball club.
You've really got two guys in the starting 5, Noah and Bogans, who don't really need the ball, allowing that guy to do that kind of stuff.
What a move. Again, we talked about him at the Open. I've really never seen a guy at the point guard position being able to finish like Derrick Rose does at the rim. The power that he presents when he gets into the rim, just incredible.
Granger the miss. He's the leading scorer on the Pacers, better than 20 points per game. That was his first field goal attempt here in this one.
Well, he struggled in the regular season against Chicago, just 36%. He did get 20 points a game, but the Bulls, tremendous D. Again, now Noah making a play. A guy that can put the ball on the floor at 6'11". Tremendous as we go back to Derrick Rose. And how about avoiding the charge, switches to the left hand. I remember a guy that wore number 23 that used to do that a little bit here. I don't know. There's a statue outside.
Out there. You put it out there. We talked to Derrick Rose about the Jordan era and those teams, and it's always here in Chicago, especially this year when there's so much excitement about what this team has done and what it might be capable of doing. Scottie Pippen is in the building today. The Jordan era always hangs over this city.
Well, it's got to. I mean, 6 titles in the 90s. And for this team to be back to #1, it's not the Bulls of the 90s. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But if you talk about the future of this team, how about the youth? Derrick Rose, 22 years old. Deng, 25. Boozer's 29. He's kind of the old guy who's just coming into his prime. Noah, Gibson, all these guys, 25 years old. It's a very bright future for this Chicago Bulls team as Rush knocks down to 3.
Brandon Rush, third-year player out of Kansas, a very young Indiana team as well. Finished 37-45. Trying to pull off the improbable 8-over-1 upset. Of course, last done by Golden State against Dallas 4 years ago. Luol Deng left it short. Noah with the offensive rebound and the putback.
Now, sometimes the Chicago Bulls' best offense is a missed shot. Joakim Noah, one of the best offensive rebounders in the game. That time, great position, and he gets the easy finish.
Hansbrough is fouled by Boozer. Tyler Hansbrough went off against Chicago in March to the tune of 29 points and 12 rebounds, but Carlos Boozer didn't play in that game. This is a different situation.
Well, you got to take your hat off to Tyler Hansbrough, though. This guy, since Frank Vogel took over, has been a steadying force for this team. He plays 100 miles an hour inside the paint. They love his energy, his enthusiasm. He's a lot like Joakim Noah.
Granger, another miss. He's settled for a couple of jump shots, but another offensive rebound by the Pacers. Already their fourth of the game. Darren Collison gets the switch, gets it back. Noah jumps in there to steal it. And they miss an opportunity for the 3-on-2 because of the low pass by Rose. Fade away by Boozer. Guess who? Joakim Noah.
Well, that's the second air ball by the Bulls that Joakim Noah has collected. 99.3% of air balls are rebounded by the offensive team. Did you know that?
93% of air balls?
99.3.
How many air balls did
I've been
you
watching
shoot
it all
on
year. Not mine.
Hibbert inside. Little jump hook, and he'll draw the foul. He's very skilled, and they want him down in the post more. We have seen that already. We're seeing Hibbert, the big guy at one end, JB, and Joakim Noah, the big guy at the other end, doing a job as well. Boozer the miss. The air ball stat of JB comes to the forefront early. In Chicago, Roy Hibbert and the Pacers off to a good start, tied to 13. Hibbert's got 6 points and 4 offensive rebounds already. He gives us a little breakdown right now on Derrick Rose.
I think that it's his ability to finish around the rim. A lot of guards, when they get in there and they're amongst the trees, they try to get fouled and they throw up a shot. They usually don't make it. This kid could, and one almost every time. Sometimes he's going to have to, like I say, give him a good hello at the rim and, let him know that he can't just walk in there. But he's been working on his outside shooting, and that's come along a lot this year. So it adds another element to his game.
I like that, a little hello at the rim if Rose decides to get to the rim. But a lot of people have tried to say hello to Derrick Rose at the rim, but by the time you say hi, he's by you already.
That's true. Or you've been dunked on. Great season for Hibbert. 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, 46% shooting. Thought it'd be a little bit higher than that of a guy that plays in the interior. But 4 offensive rebounds here in the early going. Very uncharacteristic of the Chicago Bulls. A terrific rebounding team, #1 in rebound margin this season.
Deng with the baseline floater, no. Followed by Noah, no. With a rebound ripped down by Tyler Hansbrough. Hansbrough becoming a starter, but getting a bigger role late in the season, as did a number of the young players under Frank Vogel. Collison slips inside. What a recovery by Rose.
What a recovery.
Spins inside. Hello.
Oh, my.
Collison at the other end. How many point guards in the history of the NBA can have a sequence like Derrick Rose just did at both ends of the court?
He's probably the only one, maybe Russell Westbrook from time to time, but there are 2 ends of the floor, and Derrick Rose plays them both. That was terrific. But Collison says, hey, no problem. I'll come right back at you. I'm going to knock down a jump shot.
2 points is 2 points. Bogans for 3. Way off. Noah keeps it alive.
Another air ball.
Yeah,
Another air ball.
And a shot clock violation. No basket. Noah didn't get it off in time.
Well, how about this block? Collison beats him. Derrick Rose doesn't give up on the play. Gets up and gets it just before it hits the glass. It's legitimate. And on the other end, how about the spin? Which way did he go, said Tyler Hansbrough. And a great finish with the English. Whew. That's big time playoff basketball.
Again, Danny Granger said if they can shut down Rose, they can beat Chicago. But as you said, much easier said than done. Darren Collison steps back and knocks down to 3. So he's got 2 consecutive made baskets, and the Pacers back up by 5. Dribble at him. Chicago winning 3 of the 4 games from Indiana during the regular season, losing in overtime in Indianapolis in March. Boozer with room inside, used that left arm to create a little space, no call. Save to the Pacers. Collison, and he will draw the foul. Collison with a good burst of speed.
Yeah, Frank Vogel saw exactly what you saw, Dan. That was certainly a clear out by Boozer. Turns out it doesn't matter. Indiana goes to the other end. And again, early transition, the best time to attack a great defensive team, and that's exactly what Indiana's doing.
First foul on Rose. Some subs getting ready to come into the game. Ronnie Brewer, who's favoring an injured left thumb. You can see he's got a wrap on it, but that's his non-shooting hand. He'll come in for Chicago. Josh McRoberts on his way in for the Pacers.
Well, how about Collison responding to Derrick Rose here? Terrific start for him.
On the NBA calendar, here we go. On ABC, a 3:30 Eastern game, one Philadelphia and Miami. A doubleheader tonight here on ESPN. Atlanta, Orlando, then Portland and Dallas. Tomorrow on TNT, it begins at 1 Eastern to Memphis against the #1 seed in the West, San Antonio. New Orleans and the Lakers on ABC. And then Tuesday night, NBA TV has Game 2, Atlanta at Orlando. Keep in mind, the Hawks won 3 out of 4 from the Magic during the regular season.
They did. Don't be so quick to discount the Atlanta Hawks. They got thrashed last year by 25 a game. Pride will set in, and that team is going to play well, and I would not be surprised if that goes the distance. As Boozer with a little up and under, Kevin McHale style to get the finish. Now this is a guy that can go outside, face you up, goes inside here against the bigger Roy Hibbert, bounces him off with the contact, steps through and gives us a, I don't know, Merton Hanks from the San Francisco 49ers from years back with the head.
What a move by Boozer, who missed the first 15 games of the season with a broken hand and then missed some time late in the year as well with a sprained ankle. And Frank Vogel forced to go deeper into his bench. Early 2 fouls on Paul George. Brandon Rush comes in. He picks up 2. He goes to the bench, and now here's the guy you mentioned a little bit earlier. Mike Dunleavy is into the game for the Pacers.
Well, coming off the broken thumb, Mike Dunleavy, a guy that knows the game, can knock down three-point shots. He's a great playmaker. Just very good at all the areas in the game of basketball. You see another post up for Hibbert with Kurt Thomas on him.
And Thomas the foul.
Should be before the shot. How about Kurt Thomas? Second oldest player in the NBA to Shaquille O'Neal. He had 18 rebounds in a game against Indiana earlier this season. I saw him in the hallway. I just said, "You're my hero. You're still doing this? This is unbelievable."
He started, what was it, 37 games because of the injuries to Noah and Boozer. Kurt Thomas was not just an end-of-the-bench guy this year, and even when he doesn't play, he brings a lot to the people when he's just sitting on the end of the bench.
He's the tough guy. He's that guy in hockey that Collison continues. The hot start. What a great pull-up. But Kurt Thomas, the enforcer. If you do something to Derrick Rose, you can bet Kurt Thomas, the next time down, will be touching you.
He'll say hello to somebody at the rim.
He will say hello at the rim, at half court, at the free throw, and it doesn't matter.
Collison into double figures now for Indiana with 10. Brewer the miss.
Now, not his game. This is a slasher, a guy that's a great off-the-ball cutter, finishes around the rim well, not a great jump shooter, Ronnie Brewer.
How about the Pacers up 5? Granger doesn't have a point yet. Air ball, 0 for 3. He'd have been talking about going inside more, not settling for jumpers as much. All he's taken so far, though, are jumpers today. Dang. Might have been better off just going up with that ball. Rose on the penetration, and again somehow avoids the charge, gets the shot off, draws the foul. He defies physics.
Instead of going straight up, which he probably would get a charge call there, he slides to the right. And here is him just finishing with the left hand here. Collison goes to the rim. No, says Derrick Rose, and the beautiful spin. We got ourselves a little point guard shootout going on here in Chicago.
Setting it all up during a timeout here with the United Center. Indiana leading Chicago by 5 despite the best efforts and already some ooh and ah kind of plays from Derrick Rose.
Well, the inexperience factor, Fooey. This guy's come out, the runner to start it, the ability to get to the lane. How about the defense? Collison beats him. He doesn't give up on the play, and the beautiful spin move. Another easy basket in the paint for him. Oh, how about this? One of 2 players to finish the season with 2,000 points and 600 assists. The other guy, Oscar Robertson, he was pretty good.
Not too shabby.
1 of 2 in the history of the game.
Might become, as that sign says right there, Derrick Rose, if he wins it, and it certainly seems as if he's going to, he would have become the youngest MVP in NBA history.
Incredible. I think we all knew he was going to be a great player when he came out of Memphis after his freshman year, but to do what he's done and do it this fast, I don't think people could have anticipated that.
Here are the youngest MVPs in NBA history. Wes Unseld, Bob Pettit, Wilt Chamberlain, and Derrick Rose younger than all of them. He's just 22 right now and leading this team from 41 wins to 62 wins. Obviously the acquisition of Boozer, other players, new coaching staff. I mean, a lot changed for Chicago. You and I were fortunate enough, just happened to be in the right place at the right time 2 years ago in Derrick Rose's first playoff game. A real element of the unknown, playing the Boston Celtics in Boston, and he went off for 38 overtime win, if memory serves, and you and I were just in shock the entire day. Josh McRoberts draws the foul. Let's listen into Tom Thibodeau's last huddle.
We got to get working down there. That's our problem. Got to get into the ball. Got to give the appropriate help. Keep the ball out of the paint. Challenge their shots. Then we got to rebound.
Well, no secret, Tom Thibodeau will talk about defense. This is the best defensive mind, I believe, in the NBA. A terrific assistant under Jeff Van Gundy. Doc Rivers, obviously, at Boston with the championship 3 years ago. And his system simply works. And this team is bought in. And that's why they're here, because they're a defensive-minded team, and they play defense first.
Second in the NBA in points allowed. First in both opponents' field goal percentage and opponents' three-point percentage, as Derrick Rose, who describes himself as not a morning, early day kind of guy, but he certainly got out of bed with an extra hop in his step today. He came ready to play, and what an interesting guy to talk to when you sit down and do an interview with him. You want to talk on the one hand about very quiet confidence about him, but on the other hand, such humility too about his accomplishments.
I love the fact that when you watch him, he could have his career high 42, or he could have 2 points, and he'd be the same. His demeanor never changes. He's become a true leader, I think, because of the FIBA World Championships. He said he knew he had to become more of a vocal guy. And I talked to Ed Pinkney, an assistant coach, and he said he was pretty quiet through training camp. And then the first exhibition game, he blew up. And he absolutely has been the clear-cut leader and brought this team to heights that I think no one expected.
Collison, a big first quarter for the Pacers, goes around Boozer. Can't find room under the rim, back into the paint, left it short. The follow is good for Granger, his first points, as the Pacers continue to take advantage of the offensive glass.
Killing him on the offensive glass. Then another short miss that barely grazed the front of the rim. But I want to see Derrick Rose take this challenge with Darren Collison. Hats off to Collison.
Yep.
Coming back right at Derrick Rose. We're going to get a charge here on Boozer. Good position there by Hibbert.
Hibbert and Collison are playing great basketball right now. That's the second foul on Carlos Boozer.
I mean, you got to feel great if you're the Indiana Pacers. Danny Granger's got 2 points. He's 1 of 4. And you hold a 6-point lead here as we're going to close the first quarter. You couldn't ask for a better start if you're Frank Vogel.
Taj Gibson, a starter much of last year, second-year player out of USC, now in off the bench to replace Carlos Boozer. Again, a look at inside for Hibbert. Collison, Dunleavy, 3 to shoot. Collison's going to have to make something happen. And over the backboard to Chicago.
Well, that's a great defensive possession right there. We saw the ball move from side to side. Luol Deng, a very underrated defender. He's done a terrific job this season. I think he's probably the unsung hero of this team. If you would ask Tom Thibodeau and the rest of this team, 39 minutes a night, one of the true Ironmen of the NBA, playing all 82 games. He's had a terrific season.
Now you got to do me a favor. You know him well. You've known him for years, so you can call him Tibbs.
Tibbs.
But his name is
Thibodeau?
Thibodeau.
It's very difficult when you have such a great relationship that I do with Tom. I'll just call him Tom. How's that? I mean,
you can call him. I'll call him Thibodeau. You call him Tibbs.
Tibbs.
All right.
Tibbs. Nah, he's done a terrific job. I mean, I can't be more happy. No one works harder than Tom Thibodeau. I remember him as an assistant under Jeff Van Gundy. The night after a game, we'd have practice in the morning, and he would have a sheet full with stats. And every single play that happened the night before, he would tell you where you messed up, primarily for me, or things you did well.
Not as much.
Not as much.
Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Hibbert just shuffled the feet a little bit. Otherwise, he had a clear path to the basket.
Well, you wonder why he's out at the high post. Now, with Jim O'Brien, that's where he primarily played. He and Tyler Hansbrough get him down in the paint. He's had some success there early in the first quarter. Get his back to the basket, get him as close to the rim as you can. Use his size. He's proven that he can be effective down there.
A guy who has played both high and low at Georgetown, running the Princeton offense. A lot of high post, a lot of passing. The offense ran through him. Kyle Korver into the game, the three-point specialist here in the closing seconds of the first quarter. 3-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Rose, high off the glass and
that's
good.
Too easy. Dan, that's just too easy. The whole team knew they were going isolation. No help for Collison.
Granger the pull-up. Way long again. The only points in this quarter for Granger have been on a putback. He's missed all 4 of his jumpers badly.
Yep, from 2 feet from the basket, the only one that's been even close. But Granger's clearly struggling from the perimeter.
Rose. And the first quarter comes to a close here in Chicago with the Indiana Pacers. Despite the best efforts of Derrick Rose, the Pacers have the lead right now, with both Darren Collison and Roy Hibbert playing very well in the opening 12 minutes. The NBA playoffs are underway, and the 8th-seeded Indiana Pacers are not giving any ground to the Chicago Bulls. A 4-point lead at the end of 1.
Welcome back to Chicago. I'm here with Pacers coach Frank Vogel. Darren Collison, 10 points already in the first quarter. He averaged 12 against the Bulls during the regular season. What was your game plan using him coming in?
Well, we like DC and the way they guard pick and rolls. They play it flat in the paint, and then blue side pick and rolls. He can be very effective coming off, looking to score, and the pocket pass is there also.
All right, they've got 8 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. What has to change?
Well, we're defending well. First, we're forcing misses, so that's a good thing. We're encouraged by that. We're fighting down the other end. We just got to complete the possession with the rebound.
Thanks, Coach.
As we start the second quarter, Indiana with the ball in a 4-point lead. A.J. Price with the ball right now. Point guard out of UConn. He's coming to the game, as has Jeff Foster. Strong move attempted there by Josh McRoberts, but all ball. C.J. Watson, who draws the foul, and Omer Ashik are in off the Bulls bench as we start the second.
Well, how about this lineup? Lou Eldang, the lone starter, along with 4 bench players. And you mentioned Ashik. This is a guy they didn't want to trade. There's a lot of talk about bringing in a 2-guard during this season, and they felt like they didn't want to disrupt this locker room. They love this locker room. Every guy on this team, they get together so well. They didn't want to mess up that chemistry. And Ashik is a guy that they wanted to keep. And C.J. Watson knocks down the jump shot.
He's a guy capable of filling it up, just getting backup minutes to Derrick Rose, but he can knock down shots.
Well, I like this with Tom Thibodeau. He's Thibodeau, excuse me.
Good work.
He's going with his team. His team is a team that was deep. And he's not going to shrink his rotation come playoff time. Price misses the jumper. Great rebound by Dang. This is his team. And you see a lot of time coaches will get into the postseason and they'll scrap their second unit. A lot of teams play 10, 11 guys in the regular season, and come playoffs, they shrink that rotation, change their team. This is the team they play with all season long, and that's who he's going to go with in the playoffs. As Granger knocks down, finally, a jump shot.
2 for 6, 4 points now for Granger. Granger played in the playoffs as a rookie against New Jersey 5 years ago. Jeff Foster's got some playoff experience. For Indiana, that's it. The rest of the guys are all new to the postseason. McRoberts called for the foul.
Well, we talked about this team being 37 and 45. There's a team named the Atlanta Hawks 3 years ago that were 37 and 45. And you remember that series against the Boston Celtics. The year the Celtics won the title, took them to 7 games. Indiana, much the same. A younger group trying to establish themselves in the playoffs to see if they can continue to play well here today.
And to revisit the playoff experience, we're talking about the guys who are in the regular rotation for the Pacers. Of course, they've got James Posey on their roster. He's got a ton of playoff experience. But for the guys who are expected to play regular minutes, very little postseason experience. Watson, 15-footer from the baseline, no good. Rebound, Granger. Pacers have already gone 10 deep. They have not trailed yet in this game. Price, Foster, keeps it alive. Dang's got another loose ball. Dang driving. Tough one goes to make it a 2-point game.
Yeah, body control there by Deng. He took the contact from Granger and was still able to knock it in. Little Deng, that's what I like to see him get. A little more physical, going to the basket instead of settling for just standstill jump shots. The guy's a tremendous athlete, great length.
Good matchup. Granger and Deng, they're the two starters who have not come off the floor yet. How did that go in for Jeff Foster?
I think he's wondering the same thing. Shot it from the shoestrings.
12th-year player out of Texas State, a backup now on these Indiana teams, but still a high-volume rebounder. Rebounds per minute, he is still one of the best. And there's an offensive foul, a moving screen called on Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson doesn't think so, but he better be careful asking Joe Crawford any questions about the call.
What did I do, he says.
Leave it alone, Taj. Just leave it alone.
It's a battle you can't win.
Never, exactly.
Price knocks down the three. Great point guard play for Indiana from Collison and Price so far today.
Just a simple two-man game with Granger. You go underneath that screen. A.J. Price does the right thing, pulls up, shoots it with confidence. And how about these Pacers up 7 here in Chicago in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by the Adidas Atacolor Collection, only available at Champ Sports. And BBVA Compass, where teamwork works. Learn how at bbvacompass.com.
NBA playoffs continue tomorrow as well on ABC. It's Game 1 between the Hornets and the Lakers at 3:30 Eastern Time. The NBA playoffs on ABC. Home of the NBA Finals. Coverage begins with a Buick Regal NBA Countdown at 3 Eastern. You'll be back in the studio for that. I guess the big question in this series is, which Lakers are showing up, JB?
I'm not worried about the Lakers. I don't put much stock in how you finish the end of the season. Last year they lost 7 of 10, still won the title. Bynum will be ready. They don't need huge numbers out of Bynum. They won the last 2 titles with him averaging about 8 points a game. So don't worry out there in La La Land. They're going to be just fine.
Carlos Boozer back into the game, knocks down the rainbow jumper. The Bulls have yet to lead in this game, currently down by 5. Hansbrough and a push on Gibson. That'll be his second foul. Tyler Hansbrough, as you mentioned, really came on at a good second half of the season.
Yep, 15 a game.
Yep, and had in one stretch 5 consecutive games, including one against the Bulls, where he scored over 20 points.
He averaged just 8 points before the break. A much more confident player.
Actually got pretty good at that shot. He would knock down that 18-footer fairly regularly.
Yeah, but you just like to see him get to the rim.
Yeah.
He's just relentless when he gets into the paint. Undersized at times, but boy, he's got a motor on him.
Good hands by Foster to take it away from Korver. Price the crossover. Brewers staying with him. Mike Dunleavy. Hansbrough, the offensive rebound, misses with the left hand, and it's Chicago ball.
A great hustle there by Brewer. An engaged rebound to save that possession. Anticipation of Korver watching anytime he's outside the three-point line.
And now Korver has it stripped and then commits the foul. Chicago really out of sync offensively ever since Derrick Rose went to the bench.
Absolutely, and they're getting hurt on the offensive glass. 7 offensive rebounds for the Pacers at this point. Yeah, here comes Derrick Rose. I mean, he's not going to sit out much. This is a guy that played a ton of minutes during the regular season. We talked about he's 22 years old. He's going to be playing a ton of minutes.
And you can see Rose, Boozer, Noah have 25 of the 29 points so far for Chicago. Dunleavy's short. Foster draws the foul. If that's Boozer, it's his third. And it is.
Again, a very awkward rebound. The ball grazes the bottom of the rim, comes right into the hands of Jeff Foster. Boozer not anticipating that and had his arm in the cookie jar.
Your hero's going to get some minutes here.
Kurt Thomas.
So Boozer really limited because of foul trouble here in the first half. Don't just listen to NBA talk, see it. Track the Facebook NBA trends and chatter on NBA Playoff Pulse only at NBA.com/playoff pulse. Boozer presumably sitting down for the next 7:08. Thomas back into the front court now with Noah. Foster makes them both. Indiana's lead is up to 7. Now Chicago, of course, played long stretches this season without Boozer, so they're used to this lineup. Rose follows up his own miss, elevates again, misses again. Thomas the rebound. Korver will launch and hits.
Again, offensive rebounding. Both teams destroying one another on the offensive glass, and that leads to the Korver 3, as we're going to get a 4-point play potentially. A.J. Price. Wow.
Joey Crawford with a call. Price will be going to the line. Second foul on Derrick Rose. The combination of Collison and Price. They've got 16 points from the point guard spot so far today.
Well, again, the Bulls choosing to go underneath the high pick and roll screen. Rose does that. Bumps Price. That was a foul. There's no question about it. Bumped him on the release, and he misses the 4-point play. Oh, what a look. Oh, what a look.
Everybody in the building thought Noah was getting the ball.
What a look. Oh, wow. The little duck in from the weak side, Kurt Thomas. Whew.
Second assist of the day for Rose, who averaged almost 8 a game during the regular season. Korver called for the foul.
Too many fouls. Chicago not playing great defense right now. And here's Rose, jumps in the air. Just the look off. Tyler Hansbrough goes over to Noah. Bad mistake. You don't need to run out to Noah outside the paint. You got to stay in the middle, make sure he catches the ball, then come out.
Indiana leaving some points at the free throw line. One of 2 for Rush. Both coaches talked about the importance of their benches, the depth, and how they didn't want to deviate too much from the regular season rotations that had been good to them. Rose draws another foul.
And he didn't like it. He didn't like it. That's a playoff foul. Maybe this is going to be the thing that gets this Chicago Bulls team going. Derrick Rose has played well, but they have not been on top of their game right now, especially on the defensive end. There's a hard foul by Foster. You can bet that Kurt Thomas will be lurking.
The crowd gets a look at the replay here in the building, and they didn't like it either.
That was a good hard playoff foul. These guys are soft nowadays, Dan. Come on. It's a hockey play.
They chant MVP here at the United Center. Roy Hibbert talked about saying hello to Derrick Rose at the rim. And Jeff Foster first got him with the body, then came down hard with the arms.
You're exactly right, Dan. It was the second hit. He got him with the body. It was clearly a foul, and then he kind of finished it by hitting Derrick across the back of the neck. And I think we're going to see a little Chicago Bulls run in this last 6 minutes.
Rose now with 13. Good D by Brewer, staying with Rush. And he takes it away from him.
There wasn't any room for him to go there. How did he get through there?
He is breathtaking end to end. Rose to the line when we come back to Chicago. Thursday night here in Chicago, Derrick Rose spoke at a fundraiser for President Obama. Of course, both of them are from Illinois. And Derrick Rose, one of the things that he said to the president is, hey, some people say we need a 2-guard. Would you take the job?
Him take it, you know. He got other things to worry about right now, like the world. So right now he's busy, but it's great to have the president behind the team. And I remember him when he used to be in the Bud Billiken parade when he wasn't the president. So it means a lot to the city. Finals, he'll be here, be at the game. So that would be huge, but it's going to take a lot of hard work to get there.
So Derrick Rose getting a commitment from the president that he will be here in Chicago if the Bulls make the NBA Finals. I think that was my favorite line of the day so far. He's got other things to worry about, like the world.
Well, the Bulls have a lot of work to do before they can start thinking about the finals.
Yes, sir.
And that would be the Indiana Pacers here in Game 1 to start it off. What an impressive kid, though.
Collison, talk about impressive. Just back into the game, immediately buries another 3. He's got 13 already. Korver, Kurt Thomas, and the rebound of the Pacers.
Now they'll take that shot every time. Kurt Thomas, very capable of knocking down standstill 15-foot jump shots. As we see quite a point guard battle going on here this afternoon.
Hibbert back into the game for Indiana as well. Dunleavy flashed wide open to the paint. They didn't see him. Instead, Hansbrough knocks down the 18-footer.
Again, two-man game, simplify the offense. Frank Vogel, enough of the passing game offense. We're going two-man game. Good pick and pop there by Tyler Hansbrough to knock down the jumper.
And it's the largest lead of the game for the Pacers. Noah to a cutting Ronnie Brewer all alone.
The Red Sea, the Blue Sea got parted. What happened to the interior D of Indiana there? Great cut again. We mentioned Ronnie Brewer, a guy that loves to slash and cut without the basketball.
Dunleavy down to Hibbert, who had a big start to this game. Finds Hansbrough, who makes another jumper.
There's no fear here in the Indiana Pacers.
When you said off the top of the show, maybe they're too young to know any better. I mean, they're coming in here free and easy, all the pressure on the Chicago Bulls.
37-win team, no one expecting anything out of this group, and they're playing like they belong here in the NBA playoffs.
Ronnie Brewer lost the handle on the way up. It'll still be Chicago ball as Danny Granger and Paul George come back into the game.
Tom Thibodeau can't be happy here. 47 points for this Pacer team with 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. You know, this is the #1 defense in the NBA, the Chicago Bulls, and they're not making life very hard on the Indiana Pacers thus far.
Rose misses the 3. It's a shot that really came along this year. Made 16 each of the last 2 years. Made 128 this year, although the percentage was just 33%.
That's okay.
Yep, getting there.
It's much better. I mean, 32 in 2 years, and to go to 128. Just probably the greatest improvement that he's made in his game has been that jump shooting. He just looked so much better. He was such a flat shooter his first 2 seasons. Now much better arc, much better form, and he's only going to get better as his career goes on.
Hansbrough runs it down, 3 to shoot. Between the legs, step back jumper not there. And the rebound to Kurt Thomas.
That's more like a Chicago Bulls defensive possession there. Contested long shot from Tyler Hansbrough. Good give and go.
And good help defense there by Hibbert to prevent the layup, but the follow is good for Kurt Thomas.
Another offensive rebound, 10 offensive boards for the Bulls, and thank goodness for that, or they'd be in major problems here.
Granger runs into Thomas, forces a turnover. Forget
How about the extra gear?
Yeah.
Wow.
Darren Collison's the second fastest guy in this building.
He's fast.
But it's not even close with #1.
Well, LeBron James is a freight train.
Yeah.
Derrick Rose, what should we call him? A Metro Bus? Because he put into another gear there, and Darren Collison had no chance. Again, another finish by D. Rose, and the Bulls fighting back. Down just 4 here in the second.
We gotta get the lead before halftime.
Big news here in Chicago. The Indiana Pacers are up 4 late in the first half. Let's listen into the thoughts of interim head coach Frank Vogel.
We're doing a good job continuing to move late in the shot clock. Keep it up. They're going to make a run. When we're up, they're going to make a little run. Stay together. Keep our composure.
You would never know if you spoke to Frank Vogel this morning, as we did, that He's an interim head coach, youngest coach in the league, first playoff game. He was as relaxed as could be, talking to everybody in the hallways before and just preaching to his team. It's still basketball. Go out and do the things that made them successful in the second half of the season.
Well, he's a very comfortable, confident guy. And I asked him, he coached 38 games in the regular season. I said, was there a point where you just said, you know what, I really feel like I belong, I'm comfortable? And he said, game one, I was ready for this. And he instills that in his team, very important, especially with a young group. His Hansbrough throws down, and the Pacers answer the run of the Bulls.
And give Collison a lot of credit, really forcing the issue on that fast break.
Very important for Frank Vogel to be a confident guy. As I said, a young group, if they can sense that he's not confident, as Corver knocks down a long three. If you're a young player and you don't think your coach has got the confidence in himself, what he's doing, what he's running, or confidence in you, it can be very difficult to deal with.
Really simplified the playbook, took out a lot of the offense, trying to free up the minds of his young team a little bit.
Smash mouth basketball is what he calls it. Win the free throw differential. Take the ball into the paint at all costs.
Granger has it taken away, got it back, and a shot clock violation on the Pacers.
Well, that was Derrick Rose. Great hands there. Collison with the penetration. Rose slides over, knocks the ball out of Granger's hands. Surprisingly, Danny Granger, the only guy struggling here for the Indiana Pacers, their best player.
He's only got 4 points, 2 of 7 shooting, as you can see, at Indiana has a 5-point lead. They have not trailed for a single second here in the first half. Corver feeds Rose, and Rose is fouled again.
Boy, he's relentless. I mean, everything to the basket. You know that's what you want to give up if you're guarding Derrick Rose. It's the jump shot. And the more space you give him, the easier it becomes for him to get to the rim. You got to get up on him. Even though he's a non-shooter, get up on him, try to use your forearm and force him to areas you want him to go. How about 9 and 10 free throws right here? Wow. The 9th and 10th already for Derrick Rose.
NBA playoff action continues today at 3:30 Eastern, game 1 between the 76ers and the Heat. Then tonight a doubleheader here on ESPN. The Hawks in a match at game 1 from Orlando, and the Trailblazers and Mavericks at 9:30 Eastern tonight. Also game 1. The NBA playoffs on ABC, home of the NBA Finals, and ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals.
Let's see how Indiana responds here. 3-point game. Very crucial final last minute. Want to go into the half a little momentum. Keep this lead. You've played well. You certainly like to be up more, but you have a chance here to instill some confidence in your group as you go into the half.
A lot of traffic now on every possession. Nice feed from Hansbrough to Collison. Collison's got 15 first half points.
Derrick Rose upset at himself, patted himself on the chest there saying, my fault. I can guarantee he's going to come out in this second half, and he's going to get after Darren Collison because Collison has been terrific.
Deng to Thomas, passes up the shot. Rose turns it over. Collison again. 2-on-1. And the finish by Granger.
Another great response by the Pacers. Bulls cut it to 3. 2 straight baskets by Indiana, and it's back up to 7. Darren Collison he's got a chance to be a real special player, Dan.
Corver off the screen. Nice look for Noah. Beautiful basketball. Indiana leading throughout. They'll hold for the final shot. The Toyota halftime show is coming up. Here's we near halftime of the first game of the 2011 NBA playoffs. And a storm, Chris Mullin, Jalen Rose back in our studio. Collison and a travel. It's the call. Boy, Derrick Rose had a look on his face.
Please
like,
no.
No, not me, not me.
Please no. Please call the travel before, because he did grab him. Technical foul, Frank Vogel.
Joey Crawford with the call. Kyle Korver will shoot the technical.
Now let's see if he traveled before the contact. That's a close one. This is why I'm sitting over here and not having a NBA referee jersey on.
Big call too. I mean, a point for Chicago, and they get the ball back. See if they can make something happen here with 1.8 to go.
How about Luol Deng? Kind of a forgotten guy here in the first half. Just 1 field goal, 4 attempts. He's doing a great job on Granger. Ooh.
The first half comes to a close here in Chicago with the 8th-seeded Indiana Pacers holding a 4-point lead at 55-51. Great point guard matchup between Darren Collison, who's got 15, and Derrick Rose, who's got 18. Here in the first half, they are the leading scorers for their respective teams. If you like point guard play, you're enjoying this one. Darren Collison is with Rick Bucher.
Thank you. Darren, 15 points in the first half for you already. You had 12 against them during the regular season per game. What's been the difference for you?
Just the level of energy. You know, the intensity is up. You know, everybody has high emotion, so you got to live for these playoffs. And, you know, I'm just trying to get used to this. Is my first time around, so I'm just trying to get used to it and go hard as I can.
This is the first time around for all of the Pacers. You're playing the best defense of the defensive team in the league. You got 55 points at the half. What has been the key?
I don't know. We're just moving the ball, passing the ball really well. But, you know, we don't expect this, you know, keep on going the same for them. We know they're going to continue to, you know, tighten up on the defense end. We just got to stay poised.
All right. Good luck in the second half. Back to you, Dan.
Rick, thank you very much. The Toyota halftime show is coming up. Anna Storm, Jalen Rose, Chris Mullen to look back at the first half of this game and a preview of all of today's action coming up on ABC and ESPN. The Indiana Pacers are playing some great basketball so far here today in Chicago. Derrick Rose has been great. Darren Collison has been great. They are the leading scorers for their respective teams. But at the end of 24 minutes, the Pacers lead the Bulls 55-51. Stay tuned for the Toyota halftime show coming up after these messages. NBA playoff action here on ESPN. The Pacers and the Bulls in a game one here at the United Center, but the Indiana Pacers have a lead going to the second half. Let's take a look now at our Michelin first half stats, and the Pacers shooting the ball very well against the Bulls team that was arguably the best defensive team in the league during the regular season. Indiana shooting 50%, making 5 of their 8 threes as well. They've got a 4-point lead as we go to the second half. Hi again, everybody. Dan Shulman and John Barry. What an entertaining first half, especially if you like great point guard play.
Well, I think we all anticipated we get great point guard play from Derrick Rose, who will eventually be the youngest MVP in the history of the game. But Darren Collison's been terrific, too. Rose started out early. Everything he's done has been to the paint. The ability to get in there, absolutely sensational. And on the defensive end, he's done it as well. Getting into the lane, the spins, the English on the glass. How about the jets here at half court to get by Collison? He's been great in the paint finishing, and Collison has accepted the challenge. He's taken the ball to the rim in early transition. The Bulls have gone under his pick and rolls. He stepped back, taken the shots, shot the ball with confidence. Again, off the dribble. Collison's been great, 6 of 10, 5 assists to go along with that. He's answered the bell and played Derrick Rose straight up and done a heck of a job and kept this Indiana team in this ballgame.
Carlos Boozer played only 12 minutes in the first half because of foul trouble. Did score 10 points in that time. And he goes right to work here in the second half. The follow no good. Boozer with the rebound, has it rejected. Danny Granger was not much of a factor in the first half. A 20-point-a-game guy during the regular season for the Pacers. 6 points on 3 of 8 shooting.
And on the other end, let's see if Luol Deng becomes more of a factor. Just 1 of 4 in that first half as he gets a nice rebound. He has done a nice job defensively on Granger and gotten on the glass.
Derrick Rose, 5 of 12, 8 of 10 from the line, 18 points and 3 assists.
There's a little set play for Deng to come off the screen to get a jump shot. Great coaching there by Tom Thibodeau. You know he's a guy that's important to you. He averages 17 a game. Let's get him going early in this second half.
Deng just overshadowed by the brilliance of Rose, the acquisition of Boozer, the energy and personality of Noah as Granger steps back and knocks one down. But you're right about Luol Deng, a very important player on this team.
I think so. I mean, he does it on both ends of the floor, 17 points a game. You know, he's got to be this constant number 2 scorer for this team. You know Rose is going to put up numbers. I think Deng's got to be that guy on a nightly basis.
Good help by Hibbert. Boozer off to Deng for 3. And back come the Pacers, who after that shot by Granger last time down the floor are now 6 of 9 from three-point range.
How about that?
Granger down in the post this time, showing the versatility in his game.
Frank Vogel saying that he is probably their best post player. They're not afraid to put him down there, even on Dang, who's got a size advantage. A solid move there by Granger with a little jump hook.
Joakim Noah called for the offensive foul. Luol Deng, forgive me, Luol Deng, yep.
Boy, I thought we'd see the Chicago Bulls come out with a renewed energy, a new passion, especially on the defensive end. You let a team shoot 50% against you. This is a team they dominated in the regular season, holding Indiana to 38% as a team in 4 ball games in the regular season. Not the case here this afternoon.
Collison off to Hansbrough. This time he'll drive, can't finish. Follow no good by Hibbert, who didn't go up all that strong on that one. Looked like he was maybe afraid to touch it on the rim, and back come the Bulls 3-on-2. And a turnover. Here come the Pacers. Chicago sloppy with the basketball at times today. Collison to a wide open Granger. Gets the bounce for 3, and it's the largest lead of the game for the Pacers. Tom Thibodeau will call an early timeout here in the second half.
Well, great push by Collison. He gets the turnover in the other end, pushes the ball into the paint, finds Granger again for his second three-point shot. And how about this? The Indiana Pacers, the 37-45 Pacers, up 10 here in Chicago. Say it isn't so, Dano.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs. Brought to you by the new 2012 Mustang, a whole new breed of car, and Sears.
NBA is presented in 3D by Sony. Welcome back to Chicago, where the Indiana Pacers now have their largest lead of the game at 10. And this is a Pacers team, although they were 37-45 during the season, have shown the ability to beat some very good teams, JB.
How about the ability to score? 144 against the Nuggets. They had 54 points in a quarter in that game, the 4th most in NBA history. 20 straight field goals in that quarter. They were 20 for 20 till Josh McRoberts threw up a 3 at the buzzer. You gotta just eat it.
Eat it, yeah.
Eat it.
Rose left hand,
yes. Oh my goodness. This guy, I don't believe, except for a runner to start the game, he scored outside the paint. I mean, he's getting in there at will. Frank Vogel, the head coach of Indiana, said, we're going to put 2 bodies on him. We're going to have our big stay as Hansbrough knocks down another. I guess that's a lot easier said than done, staying with Derrick Rose, because he can get to the basket any time he wants.
Rose now with 20. Hansbrough's jumper gives him 8. Noah driving on Hansbrough. Had it rejected by George at the rim. Shot clock doesn't reset. Bogans will take a 3. And Noah keeps it alive. Deng has it. Boozer pulls up from 15. And then Noah called for the foul. Wow. There's Frank Vogel, the Indiana interim head coach, in the last huddle.
Keep that tempo high. Way to battle on the glass down here, guys. We are a better rebounding team than this team is. We're a better rebounding team. Look at your size. You 2 guys come back, you compete. No one's bigger than you, you compete. You're gonna get a few big rebounds too down here.
Wow.
Now the Chicago Bulls led the NBA in rebound margin during the season, but Frank Vogel telling his team, you can out-rebound the Bulls. Hansbrough has it taken away by Boozer. Here comes Rose. Full head of steam. And the foul call is going against Indiana. I believe Collison, the way that he's protesting. It is Darren Collison. And it's 2 shots. Let's check in now with Rick Bucher.
Thank you. You know, if there's panic on the Bulls' part, certainly Coach Tom Thibodeau is not showing it. He read the things that they need to change, and it's a long list, as if it was a list for the store. He said, we need to tighten up our pick-and-roll defense. We need to get back in transition. We need to stop turning the ball over. And on offense, we need to move the ball. But there was no indication that he does not expect those things to happen in the second half, Dan.
He talks about the team staying together, and it all starts, as you said earlier, at the defensive end for the Chicago Bulls. That's the biggest reason why they won 62 games this year.
Well, I certainly expected them to do that, but they've given up 10 points here in just over 4.5 minutes to start this second half. I do expect them to buckle down, but right now, Indiana's having their way.
Hibbert over the back.
Well, credit, if you look at these starting units, in the first quarter, 10-4 run to start the first. Here now in the third quarter, a 10-6 run. So the starters versus the starters, Indiana has certainly held their own.
The Pacers in the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. They are the number 8 seed. Rose for 3. And nobody near the glass for the Bulls. Back come the Pacers.
Yeah, Tom Thibodeau not liking that shot there. Too quick. Early in the possession, nobody in rebounding position at all.
A miss by George from three-point range. Indiana still 7 of 11 from 3 today. Chicago just 2 of 10. Make it 2 of 11 after the Bogans miss.
And again, I don't like that shot. Quick three-point shot there.
Granger feeling it here in the second half. He had 6 points in the first half. He's got 10 in the third quarter.
He said he wanted the Bulls, right?
He said he wanted the Bulls. He got them.
He's got them.
Did not do a whole lot in the first half, but has been the dominant player here in the third quarter. 10 of the 12 Indiana points here in the third.
You sense Chicago pressing a little bit, certainly on the offensive end.
Boozer had to adjust. Yep.
Offensive foul.
Number 4 on Carlos Boozer. Kurt Thomas time again.
Now, these are the things that can happen in a playoff game. You get a guy in foul trouble. You get a guy who's just not feeling well. He has a bad day. You get a team that has nothing to lose. As we see Boozer clearing him with the left arm, no question about it. You have a team here, they have absolutely nothing to lose. A 37-win team. No one thinks they could even win a game in this series. You come out, you play with extreme confidence. That's exactly what they're doing here.
They were 17 and 27 as Collison drops in the floater. They were 17 and 27 when Jim O'Brien was relieved of his duties January 30th. They went 20 and 18 under Frank Vogel, and they have stunned a capacity crowd of about 22,000 here at the United Center today. It's the largest lead of the game for the Indiana Pacers. The young Pacers are playing free and easy right now. Darren Collison having a monster day. Indiana by 12. On ABC and ESPN at 3:30 Eastern, Game 1 between the Heat and Sixers on ABC. Then a double-header tonight here on ESPN. Game 1, Atlanta, Orlando. Game 1, Portland, Dallas. The NBA playoffs on ABC, home of the NBA Finals, and ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals. What do you expect out of the Sixers and Heat? The Sixers may be going into that series with the mindset the Pacers bring into this series.
Yeah, I think so. And I think the greatest advantage Philly has is Doug Collins on their bench. You know, matching wits with their exposure. I expect Philly to make this a lot better series than most.
Lou Aldang with a much-needed basket for the Bulls.
Well, they better get this thing going right now. Because as you know, Dan, the longer a team that's a huge underdog hangs around, the more they believe. So you want to make a nice run here before this third quarter gets out. Don't let Indiana feel good about themselves going into the fourth.
Granger misses the 3. Rebound Noah. The Bulls have not led for a single second in this game. Hibbert helping twice on the pick and roll. It's deflected, says Joey Crawford. It'll still be Chicago ball with 9 on the shot clock.
Well, I think Derrick Rose has got to get back on the attack. He's got to get in the lane. They have proven that they have not been able to stop him. The jump shooting has not been good for the Bulls. Derrick Rose has got to put this on his shoulders right now and start getting himself to the line, get to the basket again. As Hibbert, no call on the hip check.
And out of bounds is Rose. 13th Chicago turnover. Tom Thibodeau looking for a call. Collison to Hansbrough. Trying to dump it off for Hibbert. Back comes Dang. Collison defending. Deng goes around him and lays it in. Luol Deng with a couple of big baskets.
All set up by what, Dan? Great defense. Kurt Thomas, great deflection. Get out on the break. Get yourself an easy one. Let's see if the Bulls can pick it up on the defensive end here on this possession.
Hansbrough goes right into the teeth of the defense and gets clubbed by Bogans.
Yes, he did. I think Tyler Hansbrough enjoys that, to be quite honest with you. Let's make it a hockey game. He's got no problem with that.
Sensational 4-year career at the University of North Carolina and coming into his own in the second half of this season. On the NBA calendar today, Philadelphia to Miami, game 1 on ABC at 3:30 Eastern. A doubleheader tonight on ESPN. Atlanta, Orlando, and then Portland at Dallas. TNT tomorrow has game 1 of Memphis, San Antonio at 1. ABC tomorrow with the Hornets and the Lakers, and then NBA TV. Tuesday night we'll have game 2 of Atlanta and Orlando.
Wonder where Tyler Hansbrough brother is going to get drafted, Dan.
What he had
a heck of a year.
Unbelievable year.
Oh, there's a jumper.
Derrick Rose, 24. Down to 7. The crowd re-energized. Granger the handoff. Hansbrough again.
All this set up by dribble penetration. Again, nice play by Granger right there. Can't get all the way to the rim. Help defender comes. You kick it to the open man, and Hansbrough very capable of knocking it down.
Rose for 3. Gets it back. Forces it up. And Hansbrough throws it out of bounds off of Thomas. It is Indiana ball. Great hustle by Hansbrough to get a fresh possession for his team.
Good job by Tyler Hansbrough jumping out of bounds, throws it off Thomas. In the old days, you could call timeout, but once you leave your feet, not allowed to do that anymore.
Timeout on the floor. Indiana continues to lead. Our Sony Big Picture. This game is the first game of the 2011 NBA playoffs. All kinds of action still to come today and tomorrow, including the Lakers opening up with New Orleans as they seek their 3rd consecutive championship. Had a bumpy finish to the regular season. The Miami Heat will open up in the first round against the Philadelphia 76ers. And the New York Knicks will take on the Boston Celtics, who, as Hannah just told us, will be without Shaquille O'Neal in game 1. Give me your thoughts on the Celtics and the Knicks.
I'm not in the Knicks corner on that one. I just think Boston's going to muster it up. They haven't played great basketball, 9-11 their last 20. I think their defense is going to be too much for the Knicks. As Hansbrough knocks down another. How about the Sony Big Picture here in Chicago, Dan? The Indiana Pacers look like a team that's been in the playoffs for years.
Early, it was Roy Hibbert in the opening minutes of the game. Darren Collison has been sensational throughout. Danny Granger opened up the second half as Rose will go to the line again. Hansbrough's been great. It's really been more of a balanced effort for the Pacers, whereas the Bulls seem almost completely reliant on Rose right now.
Yeah, 51% shooting for this team. This team struggled, to say the least, in the regular season as Rose continues to be on the attack. And that's where he's been great today, getting into the paint, getting himself to the free throw line. But Indiana just playing without any fear. They're taking open shots. They're getting open shots. They're beating the Chicago Bulls off penetration. And this is an atypical game for the Chicago Bulls. Defensively, they are unable to stop this Pacer team.
4th foul on Roy Hibbert. He goes to the bench. Jeff Foster will take his place. Hibbert, 10 points, 7 rebounds so far today. Rose knocks down a pair. He is now 12 out of 14 from the free throw line. And on the season, he was terrific, shooting 86%, so he's right at his average. Collison, tough one. And the rebound to Taj Gibson.
Yeah, a little too quick there. Contested, 3 players on him. And if you're Indiana, you've got to take quality shots here. Every possession down. Don't turn it over and get good looks.
Deng dumps it off. Gibson lays it in.
Nice left hand. Good play by Deng. Another paint basket.
Look at Ronnie Brewer denying. Finally, Collison gets it. Hansbrough again. Unstoppable here in the third quarter. He's got 15 in the game. 9 of them have come here in the third quarter, and all 4 field goals he's made have been 16 to 18-foot jump shots.
Well, we talked about how Coach Vogel has simplified this offense, and this is just easy as we get a travel there by Gibson. This is simple pick and roll basketball.
Frank Vogel in the last Indiana timeout.
We are winning because we are defending, and at the last minute, we are following through with discipline to not foul.
And the Bulls aren't. The Bulls are fouling. They're getting beat on dribble penetration, and they're giving up wide open shots.
Nearly stolen. Now Rose does have it.
Huge minute and a half here, Dan. This is big. Pacers by 7. Again, get good shots. Don't turn it over. Don't give up easy opportunities for the Bulls.
Hansbrough in some difficulty finds Collison. Still plenty of time. Another block by Rose. And a shot clock violation.
And here comes the crowd. They've been silent all afternoon. A great defensive possession there by Derrick Rose and the Bulls. Let's see if that can propel this team to take control of this ball game.
A.J. Price in for Collison to the point for the Pacers. Rose now credited with 3 blocks to go with his 28 points. And right back to the free throw line he'll go.
He just can't be stopped.
How does he see the space, and then how does he fit through it where it doesn't appear to exist?
Well, I guess when you have lightning quickness, you can get into positions, you can get through holes that most can't.
That's what lightning quick people have told you about.
That's what you told me.
This was not how.
No, I would have no earthly idea.
You had a different MO.
No, but this guy, the ability to get to the lane.
Did you ever play with or against anybody that quick at the point guard spot who could get to the rim that consistently?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I just remember guys like Isaiah Thomas. You know, Isaiah was a guy like this, but no one can have the power and the ability to switch hands and the ability to take the contact like a Derrick Rose. I mean, he can contort his body to avoid charges. He can go with different angles. He can go right, left hand. He can make the last minute dish. I mean, he's got the full complement. And when that jumper becomes deadly, I don't know how you're supposed to guard the guy. You can't even do it now. It's just going to be a nightmare for people on a nightly basis.
30 for Rose. Mike Dunleavy lobs it inside for Foster, kicks it back out. Rush knocks it down from the corner. What a big response by the Pacers.
What a great kick by Jeff Foster to find the open Brandon Rush in the corner, who knocks down his second 3 tonight. And the Pacers answer again.
Rose for 3. 0 for 7 from out there. Thomas is called for the foul.
Hansbrough is down. Well, you know it's going to take an awfully big shot to put this guy down, Dan. He's as tough as they come. Let's see what Kurt Thomas.
Elbow to the side.
You know what? That was not an intentional elbow. That could easily not have been called. Bennett Salvatore saw him go down. He made the call.
Toward the locker room, and then part way He needed to be helped to sit down on a chair. Looked like he was losing his feet from underneath him. Took an elbow to the side of the head.
It looked like an elbow right to the temple,
Yeah.
Dan, and I think he's obviously woozy.
Yeah.
One of the tougher guys you're going to find. And I thought that was an incidental elbow. Kurt Thomas, that was not an intentional elbow, just caught him at the wrong place. And let's hope that Tyler Hansbrough is going to be okay.
4 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock as we wind it down here in the third quarter. Josh McRoberts in for Hansbrough. A.J. Price through the hands of McRoberts. Ronnie Brewer back to Korver. 3 seconds to go. Rose has it. Has to put it up. And the Chicago Bulls, the #1 seed in the East, the team with the best record in the NBA during the regular season, is going to face an 8-point deficit going to the fourth quarter here on its own home court in Game 1.
Well, how about this Pacer team answering the bell in the second half? You would think the Chicago Bulls would take over, but no. As we take another look at Hansbrough, who gets an inadvertent elbow right into the temple, and he is down and out. Let's hope, if you're a Pacer fan, that he can come back. He was terrific in that third quarter, Dan.
Indiana by 8 going to the fourth.
Welcome back to Chicago. I'm here with Coach Tom Thibodeau. We keep waiting for the Chicago defense to show up. What's been missing?
Well, we got to keep the ball in front. Their penetration is breaking us down, and we're not challenging shots. They're getting good looks, so they're making. So until we can get into the ball and contain triple penetration, our defense won't be good.
Carlos Boozer has been on the bench for long stretches with 4 fouls. How are you going to utilize him in the fourth quarter?
Well, we're going to give him a chance to get back in, but him being in foul trouble hurts us offensively. But the big thing is our defense. We got to straighten that out.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
The Bulls allowing just 91 points per game during the regular season. They've given up 79 through 3 quarters today. Thomas getting more minutes because of the Boozer foul trouble. Makes it a 6-point game. Tyler Hansbrough, this is a live shot, making his way back out of the court from the locker room after taking that elbow in the vicinity of the left temple, it looked like, from Thomas. Danny Granger, meanwhile, pounding his chest as he knocks down another 3. He's got 19, 13 of them here in the second half.
You just seem to be waiting for this Indiana Pacer team who won 37 games in a weak Eastern Conference to fold, and it's just not happening. Big shot after big shot.
Foul call on Brandon Rush. Rick Bucher with an update on Tyler Hansbrough.
Yes, they checked Hansbrough for his equilibrium in the back. Had him with his eyes closed, arms out, trying to see how his balance was. When he ran up and down the hallway in the back, they feel he's ready to go and will be back. Dan?
All right, Rick, thank you. Josh McRoberts is in the game in his place right now. Hansbrough has had a very big second half. He's got 15 points in the game. C.J. Watson just took the place of Derrick Rose.
Yeah, this is a crucial time.
Yeah.
9-point lead. Great cut by Dang and good look by Korver. Very crucial. We're going to see how long Derrick Rose is on that bench. You can bet if Indiana stretches this out to double figures, Derrick Rose will be getting back into this ball game.
Dang and 4 players off the bench for Chicago, the so-called bench mob, although I know you've taken exception to that as McRoberts misses the jumper. That was your game back in Sacramento 10 years ago.
Yes, we did point out a long time ago, but there a shot by Josh McRoberts that should not be taken.
And you might be able to say the same thing about C.J. Watson at that end.
Well, this is playoff experience now. This is where each possession you have to value the basketball. Don't turn it over. Get good shots. And there's a turnover right there. Illegal screen, Jeff Foster.
Rose on the bench. For how long is the question Tom Thibodeau is wrestling with. They struggled in the 4.5 minutes he was out of the first half. They struggled offensively.
And that's when Indiana really took control of this ball game. We'll see if the second unit can get it done.
Dang.
Big one.
Two big baskets by Dang, the go-to guy out there with 4 members of the second unit. The Bulls are as close as they've been in a long time.
And here comes the crowd sensing a Bull run.
And another 3 for Granger.
I want the Bulls. says Danny Granger. What a second half for Granger. 15 in the second half.
Dang wide open again. Gibson with a rebound. Korver steps into a three.
Oh. Not expecting a shootout, man, and that's what we're getting. Let's see if Indiana can continue to answer the bell. Good pressure by C.J. Watson. A little bit overzealous.
Not a bad way to start the 2011
This is how
NBA
we do it,
playoffs.
man.
This is it.
This is great. We got games all day today. I can't wait. Turn on the tube and hang out with the 2011 playoffs.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And Michelin, a better way forward.
I think that the guys in the NBA, including myself, are so passionate about giving back because majority of us came from places where it was rough growing up. As an NBA player, people are going to look up to you. Wherever city you're in, wherever city you're playing for, just giving back, knowing that you care, I think that's the biggest thing. The way I look at it, when you give, you shall receive, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Back in Chicago, here's a quote that generated a little bit of interest in these parts. Nothing all that inflammatory about it, but Danny Granger saying he would rather the Pacers face the Bulls than the Celtics, talking about the Celtics' experience and what they've done in the postseason, whereas in the mind of Granger, he said, if you can control Derrick Rose, you can beat the Bulls. Now, I don't know if you would say they have controlled Rose today. He does have 30 points, yet Indiana's still winning.
Well, I think they've controlled everyone else. You know, no one else. Luol Deng has come to life here in that late in that third quarter here in the fourth. Boozer just with 10. But we'll see. I just think it was more of a respect factor. He respected both teams. His Price knocks down a contested rainbow jump shot. I think he respected both teams. Maybe he just respected Boston more. Not a disrespect towards the Bulls.
8 for Price to go with 17 for Collison, so 25 for the point guard spot for the Pacers. Deng and Boozer, the two starters in the game right now for Chicago. Rose is still on the bench. Korver. And a good job by McRoberts to hold off Thomas for that rebound.
Yeah, good box shots. Not Kyle Korver's game there. Putting the ball on the floor 3-4 times. Fadeaway jump shot. He's a spot-up jump shooter. Got to find a way to get him looks on the standstill.
Rose heading to the scorer's table to check in. McRoberts, pretty skilled for a big guy.
Well, I like the play call. Boozer in foul trouble, can't be very aggressive. McRoberts makes a nice move, a little jump hook. Well done.
Again, a lot of these young Pacers playing in the postseason for the first time in their careers. Boozer, Foster might have gotten a hand on that as Boozer had it down around his hip. And Boozer could not get that shot off the way that he wanted to.
Well, and here comes Derrick Rose. No surprise.
Price pulls up. Not this time. Deng somehow manages to save it. Watson with McRoberts on him. Boozer. A dozen for Boozer. 6-point game. Larry Bird looking on.
How about that?
Hall of Famer, president of the Indiana Pacers, building this team over the last few years with young players who are back in the postseason this year, giving the Bulls all they can handle in game one. McRoberts followed up his own miss. Just out-hustled the Bulls. Granger.
Oh, my goodness. After making, what, 4 of them in the half.
That backboard's still shooting.
Oh, no, that's too quick. That's not what you're looking for if you're Tom Thibodeau. CJ, you know, a lot of times guys will see the guy checking in for him at the scorer's table and say, I better get one up.
And with no whistle, it's been about 2 minutes and 20 seconds of game time that has gone off since Rose went to the scorer's table to check in. Price with 3 on the shot clock. Loose ball foul on Chicago.
Luol Deng holding Granger.
And now Rose can get back into the game.
The offensive rebounds, a big story in this ball game. Chicago with 18, but the Pacers with 11. And that's not something you see often against the Chicago Bulls team, one of the best rebounding teams in the NBA.
Joakim Noah checks back in along with Rose. Rush hands it off to Price. Still plenty of time. McRoberts swings it to the corner. Foster. Rebound Rose.
Well, Frank Vogel staying with A.J. Price here at the point guard position. Collison has been huge all afternoon long. We'll see how long he goes with A.J. Price.
Rose, nice look inside. It will stay with Chicago. Knocked out of bounds as Boozer was trying to catch it. He was looking for the foul. 5:33 to go. Timeout on the floor. Indiana still leading up by 6 in the Bulls as Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat get set for game 1 against the Philadelphia 76ers. Coming up shortly on ABC. Coming up shortly tonight. Among the action, you'll see Orlando at Atlanta, game 1 of that series at 7 Eastern on the ESPN. The other Eastern Conference series, Boston, New York, will begin tomorrow. Later on tonight at 9:30 Eastern, New Orleans and Dallas in a game 1 of that series here on ESPN. 5.5 to go here in Chicago. Indiana still with the lead. Luol Deng with a huge three.
That was big.
Chicago now 5 of 18 from three-point range as Granger hits a tough shot. What a second half Danny Granger has had. He's got 24.
Holy cow. 18 in the second half for Granger.
Korver getting some minutes down the stretch in a Bogan spot. Rose uses the screen, fouled hard by Hansbrough, who's just returned to the game, and Luol Deng.
Oh, Luol, you can't do that. You can't put your hands on him. That's not the time.
Boy,
this is not the time.
Losing his composure.
Yeah, not the time to do that. You respect the fact that he wants to protect the teammate. That was not a hard foul. You just can't do that at this stage of the game. Under 5 minutes in a 5-point ball game. He went after the basketball. That's a good, solid foul.
There was less on that one than there was on Foster's foul in the first half. And on the left of your screen, you can see their little shove from Deng.
What is that going to accomplish? Well, it winds up not costing them, but that's not going to accomplish anything.
Look at Luol.
Look at Luol. Luol's fired up.
Wow.
What does he think? We're in front of the Cameron Crazies? This is not the Cameron Crazies, but he's got him in a frenzy.
Playoffs have arrived, haven't they?
Oh, man, you know something's going to happen to get it started. Maybe that was it right there. And the Bulls about to be down a 1 possession. Down 3 when Rose knocks it down. And here we go. Let's see if the young Pacers can stay composed.
Another long jumper for Hansbrough. He's got 17.
I'm guessing the equilibrium is fine. He's just okay. Because he's been knocking down jumpers all second half long. Boozer got to get up, make the guy put the ball on the floor.
Rose driving on George. The kick to Korver gets it back. Some size on Derrick Rose right now, and Paul George. Rose for 3. He still cannot buy one from out there. 0 for 9 from beyond the arc.
Now, a couple of those were he's at the end of quarters, but he's a legitimate 0 for 7 from the three-point line.
16 of his points from the free throw line. Under 4 minutes to go. Hansbrough. Unbelievable.
Get up on him and make him put it on the floor. He's proven to knock down the J all second half. And Boozer continues to give him room. And you got to credit the young kid. You give me some room, I'm going to take it. It's a big spot. Under 4 to go in our first playoff game. No problem for this guy. 4-year college guy. Maybe that has a lot to do with it, Dano.
Seven-point lead for the Indiana Pacers after getting knocked woozy in the third quarter. Tyler Hansbrough has come back, JB, and has knocked down jumper after jumper.
Well, there's the inverted elbow from Kurt Thomas. As he was going to the locker room, he had to stop. He lost all his equilibrium. He had to be sat down, and it has not affected this guy. He's been able to knock down jump shot after jump shot. Usually a guy that loves to do his work on the interior, in the paint, hustle plays. His pick and pop ability has been huge for the Indiana Pacers, and Carlos Boozer guarding him. You got to come out, make him put it on the floor. He's proven that he can knock down the J.
Now Hansbrough takes it away from Boozer. And a foul.
Oh, wow.
Fifth foul on Boozer. Chicago made a couple of runs end of the third, midway through the fourth, and Larry Bird has to be absolutely deliriously happy with the response of his young Pacers.
How about stunned? Can we say stunned? No one could have thought that this would be an Indiana Pacer 10-point lead with under 4 to go, but credit this young group.
Good show there by Hansbrough on Rose. Dang inside and a foul.
16 points in the second half for Hansbrough, 22 for the game, 7 of 10 from the field in the second half, and it's all been jump shots except for that one dunk there. What a performance here by this young Pacer group, but a long way to go. 3:28, tons of time. They're certainly not out of the woods yet if they want to steal game 1 here in Chicago.
The NBA playoffs continue on ABC tomorrow with game 1 of the Hornets and the Lakers. Chris Paul leading New Orleans against Kobe Bryant and the Lakers. It begins at 3:30 Eastern time on ABC, home of the NBA Finals. Coverage begins with a Buick Regal NBA countdown at 3 Eastern. An 8-point game. Indiana has led by as many as 12. Chicago has never led. Rookie in George. Collison is in his second year in the league. Hansbrough is in his second year in the league. Hibbert is in his third year in the league. Granger is the old veteran of this group, and he's in his 6th year in the league, just his second time in the playoffs as the Pacers turn it over. Back comes Rose.
And not a great possession there.
Korver leans in and out. Noah, no. Noah again.
Well, the offensive boards keeping the Bulls close. 20 offensive rebounds for the Chicago Bulls. Shooting just 42%, but here they are, a 6-point game, under 3. Great opportunity here for the Bulls to get back in this thing.
Hansbrough, he's been the man here down the stretch. Off the rim, loose ball to Chicago.
One of the easier opportunities he's had, he's not able to get it. What a break!
Derrick Rose finds Joakim Noah with a bullet of a pass. Noah finishes, draws the foul. The building is alive. The Bulls are within 4, 2:27 to go. To Chicago, what a way to get the playoffs underway. The #1 seed Chicago Bulls back within 4 after trailing by double figures for part of the game. What does Indiana need to do? This young Pacers team that's played so well and so hard, what do they need to do to win this game?
You've got to take care of the basketball, get a quality look every time down. Last possession, a poor look. Danny Granger with a forced 3-point shot. Keep doing what you were doing. Tyler Hansbrough has been knocking it down from the outside. Simple pick and pop basketball, pick and roll. Get the ball to Hansbrough. He's been your guy.
Derrick Rose has 32 points to lead all scorers. Danny Granger 24, Tyler Hansbrough 22. Most of them in the second half, most of them on jumpers. for Hansbrough. Rose just found Noah with an unbelievable pass. Noah slammed it, drew the foul. Going to the line, 74% on the season. The Bulls have made 14 consecutive free throws.
This will be the longest 2 minutes and 27 seconds of most of these Indiana Pacers' career right now. This is when playoff experience comes into play as Noah misses the free throw.
And the rebound of the Pacers. Collison, Hansbrough, George, Granger, Hibbert for Indiana. 4 starters and Kyle Korver in Bogan's spot for Chicago. Granger, 5 to shoot. Hibbert, got to get it off. And a foul called just before the shot clock expired. Joakim Noah, his third. 2 shots for Hibbert.
Well, I don't think he would have got that off in time. Noah pretty good solid defense. Hibbert with a nice spin move. But nonetheless, he's going to get the 2 free throws, and these are huge to say the least. 74% or Hibbert knocks down the first.
A guy who's come a long way in the last few years. Hard workers, worked on his conditioning, his strength, his footwork, his post moves. Skilled, a good passer. 1 of 2. 5-point deficit. We go into the last 2 minutes. Rose.
Oh, no. How does he do it, Dan? Oh, my goodness.
He makes moves that you have to see them in slow motion to really understand what he just did.
Oh, that ball, he spun it in from underneath the hoop. Look at, there's no room there. Avoids the charge. Puts a little overspin on the ball, hits the front of the rim, and gets the and one if he makes the free throw. I'll tell you what, there's no plays that I need to call for the Chicago Bulls. It's Derrick Rose at the top, and everybody else get out of the way, because he is an unstoppable force of getting into the paint.
35 for Rose, 2-point game.
19 free throw attempts for Derrick Rose. The rest of the team just 11. The Pacers have only gone 17 times.
Collison pulls up, left it short. Chicago ball. Rose again, spinning, floater, yes!
Oh my goodness, Dan. If you don't like the NBA playoffs, I don't know what would be wrong with you. This is incredible. What an atmosphere.
Granger and Dang. Good D by Dang. Collison lost it, and the Bulls have it. Final minute. The Chicago Bulls have not led for a single second in this game. Korver. Took more than 47 minutes for Chicago to take the lead. Derrick Rose with a couple of baskets, and then with all the attention on him, he finds Korver for the 3.
57 threes made in the fourth quarter for Kyle Korver this season, the most in the NBA. It's all about Derrick Rose. He gets the attention, wide open Korver. That's why he's on the floor. What a shot, and what a comeback for the Chicago Bulls. How about the spin move, the floater up over Paul George, nothing but the bottom, and the Bulls just down 10, 2.5 minutes ago, have taken the lead.
They're on a 14-1 run right now for their first lead of the game. Frank Vogel, calm as ever in that Indiana huddle as this building is just erupting around us right now.
Well, the luxury of having a team that plays great defense. And that's exactly what's happened over the past 5 possessions. The Bulls completely shut down the Pacers. Turnovers, bad looks, and that's why they give themselves a chance to win on any given night.
Playoff career high for Derrick Rose. 37 points, 17 of them from the free throw line. It has turned into a madhouse here in the last 3.5 minutes, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. A sea of red. The people have come alive. Luol Deng. We said it was a bad play, but that has got this crowd going.
2 subs for Tom Thibodeau, going with a defensive unit. Ronnie Brewer, Kurt Thomas back into the game.
Well, you got to think you're going to Granger here. You don't need a 3. Still plenty of time in the ball game. Get yourself a quality look as Granger gets one there.
Noah the rebound into the hands of Rose.
Unable to knock it down. This is going to be a Derrick Rose solo. Take some time off the clock. If you come with a double, he'll find the open man. You knock it down, and you win game 1.
3 to shoot. Deng. Thomas has it for the Bulls. Now they've got a foul.
'21 offensive rebounds, Dan, and the 21st, the biggest of the game. If Rose can knock these down, 5-point lead with under 15 to go, the Bulls are going to escape here in game 1. How good is this guy? I mean, last year you talk about great point guards, Williams, Nash, Paul, maybe throw in Westbrook and Rondo, and then you say, maybe Derrick Rose too. There's no doubt who the best point guard in the NBA is right now.
No
it's
question.
Derrick Rose, and maybe the best player in basketball.
The likely MVP for the regular season has opened up the postseason with one heck of a statement here today. 39 points, including 19 out of 21 from the free throw line, and the biggest assist of the game as well, that find to Kyle Korver.
Well, that's why Kyle Korver's out on the floor. Huge 3. What a comeback from the Bulls.
Let's send it back to Hannah Storm in the studio. Bad shot attempts, poor decisions on shots in the 4th quarter. Frank Vogel, I mean, you can't question the effort, the heart, the desire the Pacers have shown in this game.
No doubt, and that's what you expect from a young group of players. They didn't know how to execute in the last couple and a half minutes, and it's cost them a ball game, and you just wonder if it's going to have an effect on their game 2.
Larry Bird, who we've seen on several occasions in the crowd here today, said yesterday, you can't explain to them what it's going to be like. You have to go through it to understand what this is going to be like, and the Pacers are going through it right now. Granger, Deng right up in his grill. Hibbert, Dunleavy for 3. Blocked by Noah. Blocked by Noah again.
That's why they're number 1. That's why it's the overall number 1 seed in the NBA. Defense, extra effort, energy, hustle. Joakim Noah getting the job done as the Pacers missed their last 7 field goal attempts in the ball game, and the Bulls steal game 1.
What an unbelievable beginning to the NBA playoffs as the Bulls survive. Tom Thibodeau, I mean, he is worn out after that game. 104-99. The Bulls never led until the final minute of the game, but led by the brilliance of Derrick Rose with 39 points. They win game 1, and Derrick Rose is without Rick Bucher.
Thank you, Derrick. Can you just take us through what you were looking for as their defense was set against you in that final minute and you continued to attack?
They was fouling me hard. I'm going to just keep going no matter what. And my teammates told me to keep driving. He was going to open everything up. And that last drive, Kyle Korver was open, and he's a knockdown shooter.
Explain to me why it took this Chicago defense so long to get going.
I really don't know. We came out sluggish. They got the lead, then we couldn't get it back to the end of the game. But we're going to learn from this, watch film, come together, and just try to control the next game.
What does this win and the way you want it do for this team with its lack of playoff experience, relative lack of playoff experience?
Confidence. It's going to give us a lot of confidence. We love playing with each other. This city is great. The fans are great. And we're just going to try to keep going,
Congratulations, great finish. We'll see you in game 2. Back to you, Dan.
Rick, thank you very much. What an incredible day for Derrick Rose. A career playoff high, 39 for him, including 19 out of 21 free throws, and the assist to Kyle Korver for the really back-breaking 3 in the last minute of this game. Sports Center is coming up next year on ESPN, and don't forget, it's the Sixers and the Heat going on right now on ABC. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For John Barry, Rick Bucher, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dan Schulman saying, hope you enjoyed this one. What a way to get the playoffs going. So long from Chicago.